Howdy and hello, I am Jonah and welcome back to another vlog. I want to first of all apologize for not vlogging in a while. All last week, no, not last week, but the week before I was in South Carolina and I was literally working on church stuff for like 2 weeks straight, including last week. And next week I'll also be working on, well, this upcoming week, it's Saturday, Friday, whatever. I'll be working at church stuff as well. So I apologize, I've been very busy that I haven't vlogged. And I figured, let's get back into it, what the heck. Today we're going to be going over Galveston. Now, Galveston, I could make 100,000 video, literally, and still have so much more to cover because Galveston is one of Texas, it's one of the most extensive, rich, and historical value places in Texas. It was once considered the New York City of the South, if not the richest city in the world, or in the United States, at one point. It was once the Detroit, the New York, the Los Angeles, all that of the South, of the entire United States at one point. I'm in the garage, and that just went off. I was like, what in the world? Anyway, right, so, but today, we're going to go over some fun stuff to get back into it. We're going over some ghost stories, and I'll only do 5, just to kind of get back into things. I don't want to immediately throw another, 10-minute video at you immediately. But the first one I'm going to start off with is one of the more fun ones as a ghost story, because a lot of these are pretty sad or pretty intense. Jean Lafitte. Jean Lafitte was a French pirate or privateer who worked in the Americas, typically helped out with defending the British, defending America from the British during the Louisiana Purchase time frame. He was a part of all of that. And he is credited as one of the probably few people who legitimately saved America from the British at this point. Because while, yes, at this point in the Louisiana Purchase war, our own country, we're still having issues with Britain and France and pirates of their own trying to come over and take our stuff, blockade our shipments, all that. And Jean Lafitte, there's many different ways to say it. I say Jean Lafitte most of the time, but for the video's sake, I'll use the French accent. He was a very cool person, in my opinion, but he was the one who took care of those blockades and did all that. And he set up shop in Galveston at one point. He did. He set up shop in Galveston. He had his own house, his own fort. All the pirates lived in Galveston. And one day, people came in and they burned him out. They burned his house down. You can still go see it, actually, in Galveston today. I don't know, any moment or any minute now, my dad's going to come in. I got to go work with him. But the house is down there. It's still, in, old, crumbly, burnt down remains. And he and the rest of his pirates escaped. They did. And they say his treasure is buried. He had a treasure. He did, as all pirates did. He was one of the few pirates in reality to actually bury their treasure, next to, say, Captain Kidd, which is a real person. I could make a whole YouTube video or YouTube channel on pirates, but I'm not. I make it on Texas. One of the few people to bury treasure, and he buried it off of Morgan's Point, which is not far from where I live, and it's not far from Galveston. And many people have still tried to find his treasure, and have found doubloons and gems and stuff like that, but never his main. Over this time, it might as well be an empty box about how much of it they found. But for what we know, it's still buried somewhere on Morgan's Point. But they still say nobody ever knew what happened to Jean Lafitte. They knew he passed away at some point, but nobody. You can go in and there's theories and there's what people believe is the main truth, but you can still see sometimes. They say I've only thought to have seen it once in my life. I was very young. I was standing, it was nighttime. We owned a condo in Galveston at one point, and I was standing on the seawall with my family as we were looking at the stars at the beach. It's very beautiful at night in Galveston, all the different lights and the beach. It's awesome. And unfortunately, or not unfortunately, well, yes, unfortunately, a lot of people making noise, bad decisions, all that. But one of the cool things was I looked out, and I swear I saw a boat. Now, it's not uncommon to see boats in Galveston even at night, because you have all the fishermen out there, tankers, shipment stuff, all that, but it was just straight blue light. And the ship didn't look like it was normally sailing, and it didn't look like a typical ocean liner or sailboat or whatever. It had sails, big ones, three masted sails. So I know it was a galleon. So I thought maybe it's the tall ship Alyssa, which is our three-masted galleon that we have at the Seaport Museum in Galveston. Very cool. One of my favorite things to go do. And it wasn't, because obviously it doesn't sail at night, and it wasn't in season to sail because it only sails like a couple times a year, and it wasn't one of those times. And to this day, I thought maybe that's the ghost of Jean Lafitte's ship, because people have said that they've seen it before, the ghost of the ship. So, that one took the longest, but it's because my favorite. The next one will take a little bit shorter than that. Also, do you like my beard? I love it, dude. I mean, I grew it out. It's cool. I think it's awesome. And, alright. So, number 2. The Old Town Cemetery lady. This one is pretty intense. So, here's like a bit of a warning. She was married to a gentleman who, so the story goes, either left her or died. And she started to kind of lose it after that. And then, unfortunately, her son and sister also passed. She proceeded to have 4 children with another man who nothing's really known about him. If he left, died, nobody knows. And one day, while they were having dinner, and I suppose back then it was normal that the children also had a glass of wine with dinner. I don't know the age of these children. I mean, they could all be 18, because back then, or I don't even know back then. I mean, this was like when Galveston was kind of first settled as a town and city. So I don't know the drinking age back then, but it could have been 14 for all I know. So they were having a glass of wine, and unfortunately, after our dinner, they all eventually started to get sick. Well, the doctors found that there was morphine in the wine. It was pretty bad. The children all ended up passing away. Now, nobody wanted to tie it to the mother, but you could tell she was a bit crazy by the way she did things. It was eventually found that she did, in fact, murder her children. But before she could do anything, or before they could do anything, she unfortunately did herself in and ended up taking her own life. And it still says that she haunts the remaining graves around the Old Town Cemetery, or the Old City Cemetery. I say Old Town, it just sounds better, but the actual name is the Old City Cemetery, the oldest cemetery in Galveston. And that's basically it. I mean, it was one of the shorter ones, but it's pretty rough. That she would lose it, kill her children, and then herself. I mean, it's pretty sad. It's bad. It's not good. They ended up calling her like the Devil's Sister or something like that. She had a nickname besides just the Crazy Lady or something like that. The Lady of the Cemetery. Our third story is, yeah, we'll do Mayfield Manor. The Mayfield Manor story. Now, Mayfield Manor is no longer a house anymore. It's actually an amusement, like a haunted house kind of amusement. If you go to Galveston, if you go to Galveston and you go to the Strand, which is basically like a outdoor mall, it's awesome. It's one of my favorite places in the world. And you go to the Yaga Burgers. There's a courtyard where there's a big chess set and a fountain, a compass, and there's some buildings in the back with a German restaurant. Well, the 2 buildings next to the German restaurant on the left, if you're looking at it from the front door, is a pirate museum, which I've been to, and the haunted Mayfield Manor experience. And the real haunted manor is quite a sad story, as it's said that the inhabitants inside built it for, back then, $24,000. And, back then, $24,000 was around a couple $100,000 here. So it'd be like you might as well have bought a house for what you were paying to build one. But if you have enough to build a mansion or a manor, go for it. I'd love to live in a manor or a castle or something like that. They built it, and unfortunately they didn't get to enjoy it long because I believe the husband passed away due to an accident. I wanted to say at work, and I don't know why, but an accident. and the wife soon later died of sadness. So the Mayfield Manor is said to be haunted by their spirits. That's, it's one of those kind of like, oh no. Our fourth story of 5. It's a 10-minute video. I just looked at the timer. I'm sorry. But hey, this is fun stories. The fourth story is the Hotel Galvez. One of the nicest hotels in Galveston, if not the nicest hotel in Galveston. Very beautiful hotel. I've never stayed in it, but I've gone all my life to the different Christmas events, holiday events. It's an awesome place. I'd love to stay in it. I know my parents have stayed in it, but I would love to stay in the hotel. It's awesome. A lot of rich history in the hotel as well, because it was named after the person who founded Galveston, Mr. Galvez. And there are plenty of stories of people who have, stayed in certain rooms and they've never come out, and you can still see them walking the halls. But, I mean, the Hotel Galvez, there's so many different stories in one. And they're not all, horrific, double murder suicide style stories. And they're not, my girlfriend or boyfriend decided to stab me 50,000 times and now I'm a ghost or whatever, horror stories you want to make up, or scary movie tropes or whatever, plots and cliches. But a lot of the time it was just because of the 1900 storm. 1900 storm was way more than a hurricane. They said it was a hurricane tied in with a tsunami. It was bad. Now, obviously, I was not alive during that. I've only read stories and heard stories and seen whatever, books and pictures, and it's pretty bad. It was very bad. I mean, it was horrific. And it was said that, well, unfortunately, there were so many people in the Hotel Galvez that died during the storm. The amount of ghosts that are there are just horrific. I mean, you go in there and you can feel just the presence of, and I don't theoretically believe in, I don't technically believe in ghosts, but I do believe, like there are spirits, I suppose. I don't know. I can't tell you. I don't believe in ghosts. Just flat out. I don't believe in, spooky, we're not dead, but we're not alive, It's not my thing. And there's just supposed to be plenty of them in the Hotel Galvez. And I hope one day that maybe I'll get to go and find out. I don't know. I know that this next one is a bit sad and a bit intense, but it's just because of who's involved. The Walmart in Galveston, which is next to the Sonic, used to be St. Mary's Orphanage. During the 1900 storm, one of the women who worked at the orphanage took a rope, tied it around her waist, and proceeded to tie it around each child's waist. About 12 children, I believe, was the story. And unfortunately, if one goes down, they all go down. And they all drowned. They all died. 12 children, or 11, and an older woman all drowned that day in the 1900 storm. They all died. And it's said that they still haunt not only the Walmart, but the land around it. So because it was a bigger land. It wasn't just like the size of a Walmart. They had the apartments next door, the Walmart, the Sonic, the barbecue restaurant, some of the apartments back here. I mean, it was big, and it was very sad. And they still go. I mean, I've never actually seen them haunt anything before, but I mean, you go to Walmart, and I've seen some pretty strange stuff happen at the Walmart, so maybe they are, maybe they aren't. So anyway, thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. Shout out to everybody who watches this video. If you loved this video about history, I know this one's a bit of a spooky downer video. Next one hopefully should be a bit more bright up. And if you would like me to continue talking about Galveston, I can absolutely do that. I love talking about Galveston and its history. Please subscribe. I set a subscriber goal for 50 subscribers by August. I don't think that's happening. So we're going to go by 50 subscribers by September to give you a little more time, because I also haven't been here, so I've not been able to really give you a reason to subscribe. So 50 subscribers by the 1st of September, and hopefully we can get there. Leave likes, of course. I love seeing the likes. Leave comments below if you know any of these stories, or if you knew anything about Galveston, or if you love Galveston or Texas, or if you want me to talk about anything or see anything or tour something, whatever, tell me. I'll do it. I love doing these vlogs for y'all. Again, subscribe, leave likes and comments, and I will see y'all in the next vlog. Thank you and goodbye.